there. Yeah, he is the start of the dragon. Always wave at the officers. If nothing else, it confuses them. Well, we are officially on the tail of the dragon. We're the 11 miles. Seeing all kinds of bikes going the opposite way right now. Now on this road there's supposed to be nobody who can enter and leave, but there are pullouts and overlooks. And yes, you do have people like this. And now we slow down, motorcycle high crash rate, blah blah. So I have to go down to 30, which means I gotta change gears again. But that's not a big deal. So for the next 11 miles, we're on the tail of the dragon. We are maintaining 30 miles an hour so that we don't get a ticket, because I don't know about you, I don't want to pay a ticket. And there are cops all over the place. They love giving tickets. Now, it rained this morning, and because this is a heavily wooded area, the roads are still damp, so if I was on T-wheeler, I would also be going slow. But going through the tail of the dragon is one of those, it's a cool thing for me because, well, you notice I named my bike the Dragon, the Blue Dragon. I've always had this thing for dragons. I've got all kinds of statuettes of dragons, most of which are pewter. I have some that are glass. My loving wife has bought me some from all over the world as well. I've picked them up all over. By the way, yes, at 30 miles an hour this is fun, but I could see taking this at 50. I wouldn't want it 50 with as wet as it is right now. Huge amounts of wrecks happen along here. At the bottom I will show you the Tree of Pain, I believe they call it. And that's where people who've wrecked or lost control, etc. have. So we got a bike and a lot of little cars with him. Stay in your lane. Good advice. No parking on the grass. There are pullouts for you to do that, but don't do it on the grass. Slowing down because this is a tighter turn. And to keep the trike in the lines, takes a little more going through a turn like that because that is a wetback. I've heard other people call it other things. Hairpin, but it's not quite as steep as a hairpin for me. Up in Colorado they got a lot better hairpins. Wetback usually means when you're on a bike you can feel the tail end starting to slide, but if you control it, it's not. And I know the GoPros don't show quite the intensity of this, but hopefully you can see from my having to lean a little bit. It's not to get the bike to lean, it's just because you feel the gravitational pull trying to pull you off the bike. Because your bike's sitting stable where you want to turn because of G-forces. One of these days I have to do a G-force test on here. I'll hook something on my helmet with a rubber band and a weight so you can see it moving back and forth. And that was a nice hairpin. That is an actual hairpin because that turns back onto itself. This one would just whip because it's going uphill, so I gotta change gears again, which isn't bad. Plus it keeps me legal. And the nice thing is I get a light workout with this. Even though I'll probably hit the pool tonight, it will be, my arms will be tired, my back will be tired. And I have not been counting the turns. I am not, going to do that because I feel that's kind of useless, because they say there's 318 turns in this 11-mile strip. Somebody else who wrote it said there's only 104, but I'm like, hey, I'm going with how many turns it says because that's what I like. Now when we come back the other way, we might stop there to overlook. Ooh, that looks nice. Now we're just climbing right now, and that's one of the nice things in this area. You get a lot of these climbs. This has got a lot of back and forths, got a lot of whip backs, got a lot of hairpins, and it's only 8.5 miles so far. Don't know what the heck just fell down, but something did. .129 photo. When we come back the other way, I might have my helmet up by that point so I can get a better picture that way. And not everybody's going to wave back at you, that's okay. What I like though is it's not super busy today because of all the rain. And I have to concentrate to keep it at 30 miles an hour because there's a couple of these I really like to get faster, but I'm not because, as I said, I'm not wanting to pay a ticket. Now, I know a lot of my viewers are not motorcycle riders, but some of them are. If you're a motorcyclist or an enthusiast, have you taken the Tail of the Dragon? And if so, what did you think of it? Now, there's a road in Germany going off the Bernkastel. It goes up towards Hahn Air Base, or what used to be Hahn Air Base. It's now the Hahn Airport. It's about 9 miles, and it's more or less down, but you're doing these curves back and forth the whole way down, because it's basically, you're dropping a lot more altitude the entire way. Going up, you cannot go fast because it's so steep. But it's great, it's fun. Or you can see somebody hit the tree back there. Back a little bit, there you go. Sorry, because some of these curves are a little bit on the steep side. I can't watch the camera constantly. When we go the other way, we're probably going to go with the, well, I'm going to go with the top up. I don't know if I'll film going back. Bit of a work for those. This one turns back on itself. And that's one of the things here, as I was asking if you guys have gone and you've done the dragging yourself, did you buy the pictures? Did you film yourself? I know a lot of people from the past haven't worried about it, but I'm like, this is pretty fun. I think it's a fun ride so far. That was a bit slick, which was helpful. It's one thing, a two-wheeler, you can do it much differently than you can a tri-glide. Tri-glides, you got, you know, the posi traction so that it's trying to keep you from sliding. But when you're going through something that steep, you actually want to slide slightly. And it was nice because it was wet, so it let slide just enough to where I could do that curve and look cool. And the guy got a good picture of it, it looked like. Another thing I like with up here is you don't have a lot of houses. I haven't seen any houses up here. I don't think this is really a convenient place to build a house because it's too rocky and it's got huge drop-offs. And I don't know about you, but as a mailman, I wouldn't want to come up here and try and deliver mail, especially in the wintertime. This would not be fun in ice. I know we're pretty far south, but they still get ice sometimes. Halfway through, cool. Which is nice because my arms are getting tired. No, that does not mean I want to stop. It's just, man, I'm not near as fit as I used to be, but this is a workout. It's a fun workout, but it's a workout. Now, if you happen to be one of my watchers and you remember my old Dodge Demon, this would have been the road for that car. Only problem is, I'd have got a speeding ticket for sure. Because at that time, I was famous for having a lot of speeding tickets. Because I used to give points for speeding tickets, and it was a game, right? No, it wasn't. It meant my insurance was really, really, really high. But it's not anymore because I'm old. Yeah, it was a little faster than I should have been there. The nice thing is, I only touched the line. I didn't go all the way over. Oh yeah, this is a good place to get pictures. I guarantee people mess up here. Plus, he's got a safe place to be. Oh, it turns. I'm not worried about it. That's the nice thing with it. That one's steep and a drop, which is fine. It's a nice thing. I can break it up however. Wow, that's only a mile? It felt like more. We got somebody coming up. Actually, it's just a bunch of bikes, but they're coming up good. And I've been riding for years, and I know, hey, if I'm going to signal people, make sure I've got a good grip and I'm at a safe place to do it. There, I was plenty. If it had been the other angle, that would not have worked very well. Sorry, not you, her. The computer that tells me, hey, I want you to do things. And this is funny. She's telling me to turn right. Because it's that because it's that steep and that much of a turn. Now we went through the major turns. There's another set of them up here in a bit. But here's a little flatter, and this is where most people get their speeding tickets. Because it's a little flatter. And they feel, ooh, I can just go fast here. But this is where cops like to hang out, down in here. And we're coming back to another turn back. It's not as steep. It's not as much of a drop. But it is a turn back. And it's funny, I've been able to do pretty much this whole thing in third gear. Right now she'd like me going to fourth, but I'm coming up to some more turns, so I'm like, I'll leave it in third, keep me below 30. I was like, what in the world? Much like if you're driving a bike with all your gear on it and your two-wheeler, going through here would be a pain because that's a lot of top heaviness on a bike that you're going back and forth with. And that's like the guys who were talking to there at the 129 Harley shop, the Dragon. They were saying that when they went through this last night, they had all their gear with them and they stayed down at the bottom of it. And right there it's really hard to do some of these curves when you have a bag and that on the back and you have two up and you're going through here. So you're always watching what's happening. Like us, we could have the bag with us, but because we know we're going back to the hotel, we didn't bring it with. But we've gone through some different things with that bag on there. It's not that big, you guys have seen it. And some people are like, I'm not taking my hands off, it's too steep. We're going 30 miles an hour, and I'm the one who is in the awkward turn here on the inside. But, as I said, if you don't feel comfortable, don't take your hands off. If you're a newer rider, don't take your hands off. If you don't trust your riding skills, don't take your hands off. I've been riding for a long time. And it's an old habit. You signal at other riders. Some will signal back, some won't. It's the ones who get mad about it that kind of... I don't get mad about it, but sometimes I wonder why. More if I'm on like a backcountry road that's flat and maybe slightly rolling hills like the Midwest. Here, okay, most people are probably not going to signal because, oh man, it's the Dragon. It's 318 turns and 11 miles. But I'm like, this is fun. I'm having a blast. At 55 miles an hour, I'd have a different type of blast. I don't know if I'd be doing 55 miles an hour on the trike on this, but on my VTX or my other bikes, oh yeah. I'll talk more about the VTX in this one because I had the VTX for 14 years. That was my second brand new bike I ever bought. This is my third, and this is my second Harley. My first one was a Sportster I bought at New Car Sales in Korea back in 1985. Picked it up in Kearney, Nebraska, en route to Fort Carson. as I said, there's points in here where you really just want to take off because, you know, that's the one thing with GPS. You can see the turns that are coming. It isn't perfect, but it's pretty nice. Yep. But we're almost to the end of the Dragon, and this is going to be a little bit of bump. Nice thing is it's a light sprinkle. And I do have to say, I have noted on here, it is more the full dressers and the Harley guys, not all, but more of the Harley guys, who will signal back. But primarily the full dressers. Basically, we're the older guys. We're the guys who have grown up signaling everybody. Ooh, that's a nice foggy look. Hey, I could ask one of you guys to do me a favor and do the same thing he did? Sure. I appreciate it.
GoPro or cell phone?
That's GoPro, this is GoPro.